Okay, student. So now we are going to study our social studies chapter number 8. We are continuing this chapter, the first empire. The first empire, the largest empire, which was continued by Chandragupta Maurya in 321 BCE, before Common Era. He was the student of Acharya Chanakya. Acharya Chanakya, as you all know, he is a famous. Acharya Chanakya was also known by the name Vishnugupta or Kautilya. As we know that he has written the Kautilya Arthashastra, a book on economics. He is also known as the father of economics in India from the 15th century. So, with the help of Acharya Chanakya, Chandragupta Maurya has captured the wide area outside the India also, and he made the capital as Patliputra. And after Chandragupta Maurya, the son of Chandragupta Maurya was Bindusar, and the son of Bindusar was Ashoka, who was the great leader. So in this chapter we are going to study these topics. Okay. Okay, students. So now we will be continuing from the role of Bindusar, the son of Chandragupta Maurya. In 298 BCE, Bindusar succeeded his father Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta in the place of Chandragupta, now who has came his son Bindusar, continuing to work upon his father's ambition. What was the ambition of Chandragupta Maurya? Is to stretch the boundaries of Mauryan Empire further. It is said that the entire area between the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal was under his control. Towards the south region of to Mysore were brought under the Mauryan rule. With the exceptions of Kalinga or Odisha, rest of peninsular India as well as northwestern of India became a part of Mauryan Empire. Bindusar was succeeded by the Ashoka, his son, and the son of Bindusar is Ashoka. Ashoka is considered as one of the greatest ruler of India. Let us find why. Okay. Now we are going to study Ashoka. Expansion of Mauryan Empire. Ashoka, also known as Ashoka the Great, is considered to be one of the most powerful emperors in India history. It was under his rule that Mauryan Empire reached its greatest glory. According to his reign, as written as inscription in Brahmi script, through these his messages have been spread across the country. Much like his predecessors, after ascending the throne, he expanded the empire through a campaign of conquest. It was he who succeeded in capturing the kingdom of Kalinga. As we know that the exception of Kalinga or Odisha, rest of the place was captured by Bindusar, his father. Now Ashoka has also captured the kingdom of Kalinga. Kalinga was strategically very important. However, control Kalinga would control the land and the sea route to the Southeast Asia and southern part of India. If you are controlling the Kalinga, then you can control the South Asia and the southern part of India. Ashok began his Kalinga's campaign in 261 before Common Era. Although war was successful, Ashoka failed to gain any satisfaction or happiness from it. This war became a turning point in his life. Following with the victory of Kalinga, he was so affected by the destruction due to the war that he found a policy of peace. Now he is telling that not to fight, not to quarrel, and not to make a war. He adopted non-violence and was greatly influenced by the Buddhist philosophy and teachings. He gave up the policy of physical conquest, preached what is known as Dhamma. Dhamma means dharma, or you can say religion. In the ancient world, he was the first king to have given up war and followed the path of peace. This was the first king that he gave up all the wars and followed the path of peace. Ashoka's conversion to Buddhism and non-violence. Now this is the king Ashoka who has converted himself in the converting from giving up the war to the path of peace. Following the conquest of Kalinga, Ashok became Buddhist. Now what Ashok is becoming now? A Buddhist. He also became the first monarch whose kingdom was spread across the length and the breadth of the country. With the exception of some of the southern part of India, Buddhist principles such as non-violence, now these are the principles, peace, compassion influenced him deeply. He had an equal respect for all religion, never forced anyone to take up Buddhism. He is not forcing to anyone to become a Buddhist. Ashoka sent his daughter Sangamitra and his son Mahindra to Sri Lanka in order to spread the tenets of Buddhism. It is for this reason he sent knowledgeable scholars to faraway places. A number of vihars, stupas, pillars were built by him for the monks. Monks, that the person who live ascetic life like that. So in the meaning you can say the monk, those person who stay away from the society. Like we can say sadhu. The most well known is the Sachi Stupa in Bihar. Ashokan pillar shows the four lions sitting back to back and supporting the wheel of Dharma known as Ashok Chakra, which is famous. And this Ashok Chakra having the 24 spokes and is also notated on the national flag. We can also see on the national flag also. This had been adopted as the national emblem of India, and Ashok Chakra can be found in national flag as well as. The third Buddhist council was held at Patliputra during his reign. The Ashokan's edicts can be found in different parts of India, well, some of the areas which are now in Pakistan. Some of the areas are now in Pakistan. Ashok's thumb, Sanchi Stup, Junagadh inscription of Ashoka were mostly written in Brahmi, Kasoti, Greek, Aramaic script. Now Ashok Dhama. Inscription of pillars built by Ashok record his sentiments after witnessing the destruction caused by war and was affected at current caused by it. It's record how Piyadasi, Ashok, who was known as beloved of gods, felt extreme remorse after the Kaling war, desired Dhamma, practiced Dhamma, and taught Dhamma, means Dharma. Dhamma is a Prakritic word that comes from the Sanskrit term Dharma. Dharma refers to religious duties that one ought to follow throughout one's life. In English, it means the way of truth and the right way. Way of truth or the right way. But Ashok's Dharma is not to be understood as a set of religious. This was not a religious. Ashok's Dharma was not a religious or a practical and rituals. It was rather a code of conduct. You can say it is a type of a duty or a responsibility one should follow, or the norm, how to behave, live in a particular society. His Dharma drew several elements and inspiration from Buddha's teaching, but it was some of the things which were carried from Buddha's teaching. Okay. Ashok wished to prevent religious conflicts, ill treatment or elderly and slaves and other ways that plague the society. Ahimsa or non-violence was the core of this teaching, and hence it is strictly prohibited to harm or injure any living being. This is the most important paragraph. Ashoka's Dharma preached that the people should respect all religion, love one another. Ashoka followed these principles strictly. This Ashoka following these principles very strictly, and he set an example for others to follow. Now he is setting an example to follow this particular path, which of the truth or the right way. You can say it was the code of conduct, that how to behave, how to live in a particular society.